Welcome to Cat the Minion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. Just forgot something over here. This is going to be a weekly overview for March 28th through April 3rd. And I've got my piles for each day here. And the decks that I'm using are the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, the Uno deck, I might need more of those, and the Morgan Greer deck. Mine is I modified mine, so if you buy it, it's not going to look like that. Okay. So as we get through the end of March, not Mars, the Sun and Venus were together in Pisces, and then the Sun moved into Aries, and then the next day Venus also moved into Aries. And we're also in springtime now, different season. We're past the vernal equinox. The days in the northern hemisphere getting longer and in the southern hemisphere getting shorter. Anything else? Oh yes, as we move from 3, the March, into 4, the April, we're going from that 3 Venus energy into the 4 Aries energy. So it's basically feminine energy being worked on, and then we flip the switch and we're working on masculine energy. It's been kind of a callback to the Venus retrograde last fall-ish, and then last winter-ish, the Mars retrograde. Alright, so I think that's all the preamble we need. I can slide these over a little bit. Camera frame is a little different. Make sure I'm still focused to about here. I think I'm gonna be alright. I'm not feeling that great, and my stomach is like, dude, what the F? So I chowed down a Dramamine, and I'm hoping for the best. Alright. So we have the 28th Sunday, so that's Sun energy, which is interesting because it's just a few days before that masculine energy really pops off. So we have Owl. This can be kind of like the Queen of Swords, because in the matching tarot deck, I don't know why I said the Queen, because it could be the King too. The swords in the tarot deck that go with this are owls. But for some reason this gives me female energy. Maybe because there's an O that could be a Q, and there's a W there that looks like I want to say queen. And it's also 3, which is the number of the Empress. So anyway, besides all that, it's also giving me the idea of the owls in the Lenormand. There's a bunch of like little bitty chakra color sparkles in all this darkness. Make sure I'm actually holding that in the frame, because if I hold it up here, I forget. There's a lot of little pockets of the energy within the shadows. Alright, so it's kind of, it's in that way it's giving me a little bit more the High Priestess, like the cosmic downloads. So it could give like wholly the energy of the Hierophant. But there's this idea of wisdom coming in. I'm able to see in the dark. Panoramic night vision. Right? I'm not blinded by my own shadows. I can see what my ego's doing in the dark. I can see what other people are doing in the dark. I can see what you did last summer. Right? Like, I don't need a flashlight to to have illumination in darkness. Which is interesting because the sun is illumination. So here's the Nine of Swords. This is that nightmare card. But even this, usually at night, there's this red dawn happening here. It's like I'm bound by my nightmares, number 9, but it's almost done. So it's like with my new night vision, I can see what's been going on this whole time. Right, this is like infrared. What's this? Seven of Pentacles. Saturn and Taurus. Okay, so Taurus is the Hierophant energy. 7 and 9 is 16. That's a tower moment. Which could explain all this fire, right? The nightmare is crumbling. And the 7 kind of sideways. It's like... It's like the little plant finally bursting through the concrete. It's like, why, like, what's taking so long? Haven't I nurtured myself enough? And then all of a sudden it's like the first little beanstalk coming through, you know, the asphalt. It's giving me that, I don't know who wrote it. There's the famous song Spring from classical music or opera. It was probably in Fantasia, but I don't know if it's like Tchaikovsky or one of those other people that wrote it. But if you, it's like the unfurling and the waking up. If you heard the song, you'd know what it is. I'm pretty sure it's called Spring. Alright, so let's look at Monday. Moon energy. 29. Breaking down to 11. This 28 breaks down to a 10, which is a completion. So that 9 of Swords, and then it's like the daylight kind of confirms, the illumination of the sun energy kind of confirms what was on the infrared, right? It's like, oh, let's, we see what's going on in the day, let's put on the infrared and stake out this castle at night. But the 29... Should also point out that the 2 during those 10 days is like High Priestess energy as a background, and then the 9 could be the Hermit, which would be Virgo energy, which could be the inner child, but not always. But together 11, Justice, or Strength depending on the deck. But if it's like another vibration, a slightly different or lower vibration of the High Priestess is Justice. So let's see what's here. So we have Nightingale. This looks like the planet Uranus here. And I think the Nightingale has to do, if I remember from the book, it has to do with like speaking your truth even if people don't believe you. Also 11 on this card, 11 letters. And the word night related to the moon as well. And Uranus energy itself is Aquarian. It's the collective, has to do with the collective consciousness, but also modes of communication. Right? It's like, I'm going to put out a clear song, and eventually someone who understands it is going to hear it, and it's like by that way you find your audience, right? You find your people. So here's the Hanged Man, number 12, but he's inverted. This is, I'm waking up, I'm coming out of the darkness, I've gotten the download, right? If this is the universe, look at this, it's that same like aqua color. You have Aquarius energy. It's like if the universe is this nightingale, or your higher self, it's like, oh, I hear it, I've got the message. Hangman is Neptunian energy, which is the subconscious. It's sort of like, I've subverted the truth of who I am, because it was the only way to survive with a distorted ego. But now I'm starting to come out of it. Like I hear those church bells calling, but it's like the inside of your heart, like trilling. 10 of Pentacles inverted. This is like, it could be poverty or sickness. Down with the sickness. What's interesting, though, is that I see Aquarian energy, and because I've used the zeros in this deck as tens, it gives me this idea of the Fool, but it really is a completion. It's sort of like, okay, there's a background energy of 10 coming from here, and that the sun looks like a donut hole, too. And then this other thing coming in that's saying there is a completion. What's being completed? The reason I can see in the dark is because I've started listening. You know, it's like first I heard this music and I followed it even though I couldn't see very well, and then I was able to. It's like we're honing in on the details. It's like first I can start to see the landscape, and now I've got my what is satellite tracking of the globe thing? Navigation. Now I've got the navigation. I feel like it's called something else, but I can't remember it. You know, like the TomTom and the other thing with the Google Maps. You know what I mean. Okay. So we have Tuesday the 30th with Mars energy. So we have that Empress energy again, and then that 0 coming in again. 3 completions, right? We had 1, we had another one, and now there's 3. And again, the idea of potentially the Fool. So we have the bee. The bee is a very hard worker. There's this idea of pollination and fruition. This is giving me a kind of Ace of Pentacles energy. Right? I'm pollinating. I'm extending the life. I'm bringing... it's like I'm creating... It's like the way that plants sexually reproduce has a lot to do with pollination. So it's like I'm creating a new baby, but it's in the plant world. It's like there's a natural element to it. It's like I'm building my own forest. But here it's like I'm growing some new concept in my heart center. I'm pollinating my heart so that it's able to grow new flowers. Like there'll be more oxygen, I'll be able to breathe, I'll be able to relax. Now when the bee is inverted, it's like overworked, but here it's like I'm coming into balance of the work and my heart center. There's an aspect of contentment, but this is all coming through in an air elemental. It's like the only thing that's been blocking you from this growth is a mental state, right? The ego that says you can't, where all those 9 swords were. But here there's a 3, right? 3 letters. So it's like the root issue is like the fear from being overstimulated in the past, leading to burnout, where this was somehow unattainable. And notice that this also looks like a big 0. The Magician inverted. This is like you can't pull a fast one on the universe. right? And the ego tries to shift things and be like, oh, this is what I want, so I'm going to make it happen. But there has to be this co-creation with the universe. If you never learn to see in the dark, right? There's so much, like, there's a lot of sun illumination here. But if he's inverted, he's in the dark. It's like sorcery. It's like, I don't know what potions I'm taking here, but it's going to do something. It's like taking the love potion number 9 at the wrong time and making out with the cop on the street there. Two of Wands inverted. So Two of Wands is usually a choice. And what's interesting is that the Magician, you know, like a magic wand, this is 2 wands. And it's like the decision has been made. This didn't work out for me. What do I want? I want the fairy wand that's like gonna make me touch the flower to the other flower, right? I want a pipette. I don't want you know, a stick to whack at the cobwebs in the dark. This is interesting too because this is Martian energy. And with a Magician inverted, and with the Two of Wands inverted, it's like oh, I just got like cheating in battle, or like cheating at cards. It's like someone, like when the god of war goes out to fight a battle, it's like we're going to have a duel with proper etiquette and everything, and then someone just cheats immediately, doesn't bow before karate, you know, comes in and turns around and shoots before they've counted to 10, has a dagger up his sleeve when it agreed on hand-to-hand combat. That's what I'm seeing there. So it's sort of like I had a hard time coming out of this because there was always an unfair fight, and it left me drained. You know, it's like 2 wands is like, it's not going to be one or the other. I'm going to hit people with everything I've got at the same time. But with this inverted, it's like you don't have a choice anymore. You're taking this other path towards a diplomacy, towards learning, towards like growth instead of destruction and like theft, basically. And that could be either literal or metaphorical, depending on who you've been dealing with. And again, this doesn't have to be the same as this person. It could be the result of whether you're doing it or someone in your area is doing it in your direction. Alright, so we're going to look at the 31st. So we have mercurial energy for Wednesday, for Woden's Day. We have the black egg. Yeah. This has to do with one of the chakras, and I don't remember which one it is, but there's this sort of purple energy around the edge here. And notice that I had 0, 0, and then another donut, and this is also like goose egg, like an egg. This looks like a dragon's egg to me because it's kind of scaly. And it also makes me think of that egg in that Harry Potter movie that was like screaming unless you opened it underwater. So it's like there's this great message, this great journey that's going to be undertaken when this egg hatches. There's like a calling of like soul knowing from deep within. And when the environment hits a certain resonance, it breaks open and it creates this... It's sort of like I see the 8 down here from the 8 letters, and it's giving me this idea of justice and strength again, but it's like a cosmic truth bomb, like a bath bomb, right? Like I'm going to melt it and soak in this essence, and maybe there's a prize inside too, right? Those ones with like jewelry or some shit. So there's the Ace of Cups inverted. Interesting, because I said that there's like a cosmic truth that's under the water. This is like an idea of like drowning, or of like complete dehydration. So I have the King of Pentacles here. What is going on with this under mercurial energy? I have 13 backwards. 8 and 5 is 13. Because a king is a 14 that can be reduced to 5. And then the 1. What's going on with this? I want to clarify the Ace of Cups, because that's kind of weird. I'm not really getting it. Okay. Clarifying the Ace of Cups inverted is the Star. Okay. Alright. So again, this idea that the egg has to be immersed in water. I need to be heart-centered, or I need to be heart-centered in order to hear this cosmic message coming from deep within. Right? I need to have like a moment of peace. The Star breaks down to 8 as well. 17 breaking down to 8. This is the hope for the future. This is like the nest egg. And here it's like I'm pouring water into the ground so I can dunk my little bath bomb in there, right? She's getting ready to dive in there with it. This cup inverted kind of looks like she's pouring the water out. But it's also to say that there's a universal timing involved with the heart center. But here it's like, you know, if you hatch the egg now, the little bird in there is going to still be fetal, and it's not going to survive. Right? There's a bird over here too. Well, it's like going back to this nightingale. It's like this Uranus planet here might be that egg popped out the backside. So the king here, it seems like this... It seems like what's going on is that the masculine energy, like Mercury can be the masculine energy, especially with a king popping out. It's like getting a grip. It's like getting a grip on the material world. I feel like I need to clarify this too. Like, why is the king? I get that it's an extension from the Hanged Man, because the Hanged Man inverted is like a knight. Okay, look what tried to flip out. The King of Swords. If this owl was the Queen of Swords, she laid this egg, and there's a certain amount of time before the masculine takes it down and gets this sort of cosmic message. It's like, here's what a birdie told me. It's my message in a bottle. But it has to be opened at a certain time. And it's not, it's like, it's the message the masculine is receiving isn't just like, oh yeah, let me think on it. It's something that's tangible. It's like something that you can grab onto. Get one more card because I'm having a hard time explaining this. Like, I understand what's going on, but I don't know if anyone else does yet. Whoa, I had these scoot out the side. So I have a Knight of Swords, although the Four of Swords inverted as I'm waking up. It's the same, it's a lower vibration of the Hangman. Knight of Swords, like turbo coffee. Look at this. Queen of Pentacles and Wands with the Seven of Wands inverted. She's letting down her guard, and he's getting a wake-up call. It's like they're ascending on high levels, but notice what's missing. The suit that's missing is Cups, which is right in the middle. It's like no one's opening their feelings until some cosmic truth pops out, and at the exact right time. And notice the star is Aquarian energy too. So this is actually looking very much like this particular energy has to do with relationships. It doesn't look as much like these other 2-3 days of someone just struggling with their life. This looks like a masculine and a feminine who have been unable to speak feelings to each other, and there's this incredible emotional overload that's gonna like fizz out like a poof, like this thing. Again, like in a certain alignment. It might have to do with the position of Mercury. Maybe not on the 31st specifically, but like when Mercury goes to a certain station. Or has a certain like trine or sextile or whatever the hell it is. Square, something like that. So masculine and feminine with cosmic downloads cracking open in universal timing. Alright, so we have Thursday, Jupiter energy, 1st of April. I also see this too, it's like the feminine got a message first because the March was dealing with the feminine energy, and like the day before we hit hard masculine energy, it's like he's about to get some. Like it's already in the pipeline. Alright? Especially with Venus and the Sun in the same place. So we have the Moth inverted. Right? Moth to a flame. Nibble on your tweed suit there. This is a Luna Moth though. Moon energy in particular. So we have more air energy. Another air elemental. 4 inverted. It's giving me again that 4 of Swords inverted energy that I just got out of those extra Uno cards. Right, I'm like, I've slept on it. I went through the night and I found the light in the darkness, and I'm 4 of Swords waking up. Justice inverted, 11. Not quite sure what she means here. But again, there's this idea of a higher vibration of swords. I just got like, with it inverted, it gave me like sword swallowing. Like a performance. Like, I'm gonna eat my words. Queen of Pentacles inverted here. That's a 13. It's like, in order for some kind of justice to happen in the material, I see, like, this is like chartreuse and green here. This is chartreuse and green, and this is green. That's red. I mean, possibly heart center, possibly root, but it's like, transformation here. Death could be 13, but it's like this, there's a sickness in the body, or someone is like impoverished somehow in the physical world. And it's like if I don't have you, I don't have anything. Someone is eating their words after having slept on it. I mean, because the feminine is inverted here, I want to say that it's the masculine that's going to be choking on this a little bit. But it's not really fair to, you know, be like, he did it, he's a son of a bitch. But everyone has masculine and feminine energies, so it just depends on if you're working with somebody who's harboring the most at one given point. But again, this is very much like, I'm eating my words. I'm not really sure what's going on between the Queen of Pentacles here. Let me clarify her with one of these, because I feel like just the words are kind of screwing me up. Okay, what's going on with these two? The Ten of Pentacles. Okay. This is definitely like a what have I done? Like, I am eating crow kind of energy. So, I don't know who done it, but like, in order to move past this, it's like if the masculine's on trial for murder, somehow left the feminine in a state of death. Metaphorically. The resolution is to, you know, eat your words, having slept on this for any certain amount of time, illuminated by this hermit mode, sort of like, oh my god, yes, that I did the thing, in order to like finish the cycle. It's sort of like a countdown though, right? 11 inverted says go this way, go to 10. What suit are we in? Pentacles, there's an internal transformation. And there's sort of yellowy and chartreusey energy with the pentacles and the red. I don't know if that makes sense. It's a karmic debt resulting in a completion that has ramifications in the physical world to people exterior to yourself. Okay. Let's start a new frame. Great, I turned on the camera and almost choked on a chunk of stuff. So we have Friday here, Venus energy. What's interesting is that it's a 2, right? April 2nd. And Venus is ruling the Empress card. So it's April 2nd with a Venus, which is could be a 3 or a 5 if she's the Hierophant. So it's like I've got this background energy of ramping up. I got 2, 3, 4, and 5. The High Priestess, the Emperor, the Empress, and the Hierophant. Okay, so I have Eagle inverted. So Eagle, 5 letters. That could be that Hierophant. I'm not getting these cosmic downloads. But look at this. With this like this, it's like the sun is in the top of the card. But we have another air elemental here. But it's like running aground. It's like I tried to grab that fish so hard I got stuck under the water. This looks like this eagle's being sucked into like a white hole. Like it's not going in. It's like he got sucked into the black hole and he's being spit out the other side. Like, and this is the sun. Hopefully that makes sense. 3 of Swords. Again with the 3 of Swords. What's that? Libra? Saturn in Libra. Sorry, I got tired. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands. What is going on here? This is a weird combination of cards to read for. Okay. The Knight of Wands is a 12. No, not the Knight. The Page is this is the Page. The draw 4 is a Knight. So this is a Page. This is 11. And I feel like it's kind of related to Justice in the day before. And this Eagle with the 5 is kind of like the King, but those were upright. So what's going on here? I mean, the Eagle usually has a perspective. It can see everything around it. It's also like, don't focus so hard on the single detail that you miss everything else, right? Having a good high perspective it's like doesn't. It's like you might be able to see what's going on, but you're so far removed from things that you can't do anything about it. Right? It's like I'm so far removed from everything that's been going on around here that this darkness is still consuming me. But this Page of Wands, Jesus Christ, if I could get that right, which I've assigned Uranus energy, so that would be the Fool there. Donut hole. What does that mean, though? This is giving me, like, fallen angel energy. I want to... No. I want to clarify this spread, this day, because it's kind of weird. Maybe... Okay. King of Cups inverted. Okay. So I did say a king inverted. How about that? Now what's interesting is that the king over here, it was pentacles and swords, but the cup was inverted. So now I have the king with the inverted cup in his hand. 14, breaking out of 5. Okay. Mr. Fish Hat, what's going on with this knight? Okay. So this bridge here is the King of Pentacles again. What was the wands over here that was doing? Okay. I think I need one more card. It's the I'm gonna use the Uno deck. It's the transition between these two kings. This tried to spin, so I think this might be in the challenge position. Eight of Wands has to do with rapid movement or communication. The Page of Wands is like someone who's trying to learn how to run fast. I just heard smooth operator in the back of my head. Is that Sade? I don't know who sings that. Saturn and Libra. Shift, shift, shift. Venus energy. This is so weird. No wonder I had these cards sitting on the desk for 2 days before I did this reading. What's going on? I need more cards. I probably don't need more cards, but it's like I can't, there's something missing. Five of Swords inverted. Queen of Swords and the Two of Pentacles. Oh, this is inverted too. Queen of Swords inverted and the Two of Pentacles. Decisions. Okay. Let me think about this. Let's see if I get any cosmic downloads. Queen of Swords inverted, off with your head. Five of Swords inverted, unmindfuck it. Two of Pentacles, I'm juggling, trying to juggle too many things with Jupiter energy. King of Cups, Libra and Scorpio, going deeper, trying to gain balance. Swallowing my heart. King of Pentacles, Leo and Taurus. Okay. Eight of Pentacles, Mercury and Sagittarius. Page of Pentacles, Uranus. Masculine energy. Okay, alright. What I think is going on with this April 2nd spread masculine energy, King of Pentacles, it's not that hard to juggle a lot of things in the material world. When it comes to the emotional, romantic world, it's a lot harder. She's gonna cut my head off. And I'm just saying she because the masculine and the feminine energy usually enter the relationship together, like with each other. And again, everyone has masculine and feminine energy, no matter what your gender orientation is. Someone is usually holding more of one of the polarities at any given time. It could be rapid cycling every couple hours. It could be this day. It could be that day. It could be for 10 years. It doesn't really matter. You'll know who's who depending on the description of the behavior and predicament. So the feminine energy, the masculine perceives the feminine energy to be like off with his head. Maybe he thinks that she's been trying to screw with his head, but maybe she's hostile because she's been mind fucked by the situation. And I feel like this Three of Swords is pain for everybody because of that Libra energy there. It's like, you know, it's like in The Parent Trap. I'm talking about the 1961 where what's her bitch slaps one of Haley Mills and she's like, you give your sister her half of this. Everybody gets the smackdown. But this masculine is kind of like he thought he had a good perspective on what was happening because it's so easy to handle a bunch of stuff going on at the same time from this detached frame in the physical world. But this emotional world doesn't necessarily work like that. You have to come in closer. You can't just fly around the whole time. And it's like this realization is basically like being torn apart by a black hole. He feels like a fallen angel. Like, oh man, now she's really gonna fucking eat my ass in the not fun way. So, this Page of Wands is this sort of passion to at least like try to go. Like I'm okay. Like I've got I have spacesuit will travel. This Eight of Wands in the challenge position is like I'm either working on communicating or coming in somehow. Like I'm trying to do this in a hurry, or I'm trying to get to where I can get this message out to you faster that there's something going on. Okay, so that was extremely obscure, like pulling teeth. Alright, so let's move on to the third. 7 minutes left. Oh god, I might have to start another segment. So we have Saturn energy with the third. So 4-3. Essentially the masculine and the feminine together, which would be the Chariot. And then this Saturn energy could be the Devil, which is like the anti-lovers card, but it doesn't always have to be bad. So we have the raccoon here, little trash panda. Number 7 here as well. So cute. I'm getting this idea of like they're like they get a bad rap because they used to have rabies a lot. Get a bad rap for eating garbage. But what's interesting is the raccoon is actually very clean. He washes everything that he eats. Or they, she, whatever. I think they're nocturnal. It's a cute little guy. Also this idea of like wearing a mask. You know, it's like I wear a mask because I'm skittish and I don't want people to attack me in the darkness. You know, but I'm very particular. I'm like neat. Might be like it might be actually like OCD. It's gonna be a little bit of OCD. Like I don't like my environment viciously rearranged, but it's like if you take me in, I'm like sort of very lovable and just kind of a dork and all that. You know, like I don't open up until I get used to you. Like don't. It's like don't judge a book by its cover, but also like everything else that I just said. So we have a double here, the sun inverted, so we got nighttime, and then we have the King of Swords inverted. Alright. That Queen of Swords was inverted too. It's like this darkness all the time is really pissing me off. Then we have the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is like sailing away from the bullshit. My defense mechanism was mask, hiding in the nighttime, don't rearrange my environment. This darkness, this, like, the secret, the, like, the anti-sun here. It's like the thing that's we're trying to stuff it under the couch. I feel like the King of Swords inverted is like my own mental overthinking. Again, like this OCD. Like it has to be a certain way, and you know, have to be home by a certain time, or I don't want to go here, or I don't want to think about that. Don't shed any light on the situation. I don't want to. Six of Swords. Mercury in Aquarius. Six of Swords is my sailing away from the bullshit card. And I think I want to clarify this reading. Other segment. So I don't stress myself out by not having enough time. Three of Pentacles. Yeah. The Six of Swords indicates I'm moving away from being stuck in this semi-persecuted darkness. Right? It's like this ego is like a skittish ego. I don't want to let anyone in. But here, it's like, I do want to get away from that. I want to build something else. It's like, don't take me inside. I'll build my own home. Like, look at me. Coming up. Try to explain this a little more. So there's the Page of Wands again. These aren't supposed to be this detailed, but this reading is really obscure. And there's the King of Pentacles again. So the message is kind of repeating. With this masculine energy is really, really getting like hot under the collar and like ready to do something. I want to build something different. I'm changing the blueprints. It's the energy of the Three of Pentacles. Oh, of course, it's Mars in Capricorn with the number 3. So 4-3, Saturn energy. I'm manifesting something. I'm not confident, but I'm passionate about it. I am being held to do this work. To build something new. To change the way I've been doing stuff. To change my plans. I think that's good. I think that's good. Now this this coming in here, this shift coming from the King of Pentacles, might not necessarily be like, oh, his money's changing, his material world is changing. It might be his health is changing, right? I'm tired of feeling like I gotta watch my back all the time. I'm tired of being put out and whatnot. I'm so done. I'm gonna build something for myself. And it might be more of like an internal shift. But this Page of Rods is like setting out into the desert here. Right? It's like, I'm on the quest, I'm gonna seek some knowledge. So it's like, I've been in the dark, but now I'm gonna set out at daybreak and get right into that bright sun and do something. Alright, so, it looks like once that 4 hits at April, the masculine energy is going real hard on some energetic work. Alright, but it's sort of like the feminine in those readings is kind of like a non-playable character, but it doesn't really matter because everybody's got all those energies fluctuating at all times anyway, like those little Planck oscillators. If you want to get a personal reading, you can check out the list of such readings and how much they cost in the description box underneath here. If you want to see what those readings look like, you can check out my readings for sale playlist, or reasonable facsimile of that title. If you'd like to help keep this channel running, you can donate, tip jar, energy exchange, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. But if you want stuff, I'm really happy if you get coloring books or dark poetry book. I've got merch and prints and actual art items. You get 3 or more items on Etsy, use that coupon code 3star17. You get 17% off. I've got some social media over here. Trying to do some renovations on my make playing cards right now, so I'm not like super advertising that. Certain percentages of certain prints and art items I'm going to be donating to charity. I'm going to increase the percentage when I can afford it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.